Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you for being here today. We have a new topic of discussion today called the blessing. Thank you for being here and joining me here today, this Thursday. With that being said, everyone, um, I hope you guys are enjoying your day and having a great Thursday. And I hope everything is going well. And most of all, I hope these messages are resonating with you and helping you with your own circumstances by me sharing my own personal circumstances and sharing how I've been getting through it. You know, guys, prayer is a big thing, especially with me, God. And I'm not connected to any religious organization or anything like that, um, but a direct connection to God through Jesus. And I've talked about that a lot, and it does work. And God does hear these prayers, and He does answer them. If we come to Him in the upright and we're not out there trying to take from others, trying to harm others, trying to do them in or whatever, if we come to God the correct way, He sees our heart and our intentions, and He will respond based on that. And I'm talking from experience, guys. So before I get into this topic of discussion, I want to talk about just for a minute snakes in our lives, because I talk a lot about people, circumstances, and situations that come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And like I said, in my case, it was many of these things were lessons, unlearned lessons that I had to learn. Otherwise, keep repeating them, and it will keep spinning around. And when a lesson come around again, it may be a different person, circumstance, but still the same lesson, and it's worse than ever, guys. So when these lessons are unlearned, they can come spinning around with more problems than before. So when I talk about this, and I'm going to give an example about snakes, we can have people around us who have been around us forever, and since the beginning of our time or whatever it is. But some of these people might be snakes, whether they're relatives, friends, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we need to see the lesson in this all, what I mean. Like in my case, I'm just going to use my case, because we're not here to judge, we're here to help on this channel. So I had people around me, including family members and things like that, that did not have my best interests at heart. When and I was just being subservient, being the best I could be to them or whatever. And I had to be sat down to see people for who they are behind that mask. Because sometimes people are wearing masks, and then the masks start to get twisted up and fall off as, some good things come in your life and they don't like it or whatever. And it starts to show. The slip is showing, you know. And my lesson was to see behind the mask, to see people for who they truly are and not what I wanted them to be, whether who they were, regardless of who they were. And I wasn't getting it. So the wheel will spin again and again, and the lessons would get worse and worse. The situations and circumstances would get worse and worse until I was able to see, oh, okay, that's what I'm being shown. Okay, I got it now. And then once I learn that lesson, I can close that door. It's painful, of course. Looking at any of these things is painful. But the good news is, after getting on this journey to heal, and I can close this door now because I see it for what it is. And then, because some of these snake-like individuals in our life could be blocking our blessings. Let's say we're on this journey to heal, and some people may not want us to heal. They don't want to see that because they're not in a place of healing, and they don't want to see you rise above them as they so call it. But, we all heal at a different time and, in our life according to, our circumstances. So it's not someone being above anyone, but they don't see it that way. And sometimes they try to block you from, rising above and doing what you need to do. And so sometimes the lesson, we're sat down to be shown a lesson as to what's really going on. And then when I was able to see that, I can just get rid of this. I confront the situation and then get these folks out of my life, cut off, block, and delete. When someone's trying to stop me on my path to grow and to heal and to evolve. Um, Also, so when a lesson is learned, those doors get closed. And sometimes, you know like I'll give another example about certain circumstances. Like yesterday I talked about burdens, and I use a metaphor of tons of bricks on your back. And then somebody else, you already have tons of bricks on your back, right? And then somebody else want to come along and put their tons of bricks on top of your tons of bricks to weigh you down even more so. And that's not okay, to carry somebody else's burden. And I'll give you an example about that. I have a family member, a sibling, who I guess had some issues with mom. We all have some issues with mom. If you guys, you know, nothing is perfect. But before mom passed away, um, she should have addressed that situation and what she was feeling and then worked that out with mom. But instead of doing that, after mom passed away, she want to throw those burdens and those bricks I talk about on my back by saying I had the best of everything from mom while they were over here and didn't get whatever it was they were supposed to get from her. Say what? We were all minors. It's based on a decision when we were kids that mom made. It has nothing to do with me. I was a minor kid. Even if I didn't agree with it, I was a minor. And whatever decision mom made regarding a certain situation has nothing to do with me. It's her decision. And the sibling really to this day resents it. But what I said is that should have been a conversation that you should have had with mom, not with me. It wasn't my decision. So we're not going to take your tons of bricks and add them to my pile of bricks and put those bricks on top of my back. We're not doing that. Oh no, hell no. You didn't get to do that. So what I did is suggest perhaps therapy, because that's what I'm doing every week, and there's no shame to that, to sit and talk with a therapist. Like I said, it's an outlet for a lot of things that we build up from childhood on, and I was, reprimanded for that. And it shouldn't have been anything like that, because these are the things that help us, help our life, so that we can move forward. Remember yesterday I talked about an outlet. This is an outlet for the pain. And therapy is one part of it. Like I said, music, other things, self-help stuff, self-care. And this sibling is refusing to do this. Okay, but here, you can keep this pile of bricks because they don't belong to me. They're yours. And at this point, it was like a cut off, block, and delete, because there's no more conversation. And that's fine with me, because I refuse to, at this level of my life, to carry anybody's bricks or burdens. People, you don't have to carry anybody else's burdens. It's heavy, to overload you when you have your own stuff going on. So I left that where it was. And I was glad that I was able to do that, because it has nothing to do with me in reality. But that's one example of when I describe carrying bricks on your back and trying to climb a hill. It's heavy, it's a heavy load. So let's get into this topic of discussion today, the blessing. This is a true story, what I'm about to share with you. Sometimes when we pray to God and we're going through a lot and we're asking God to help us, please help us, and we pray and we pray, and we really need help with a overwhelming situation. God will answer that prayer. You know, most of us will be thankful when He answers that prayer and remove that burden or situation from our life. We'll be thanking Him and showing gratitude, recognizing a blessing and thanking Him. However, guys, there are a few people who will recognize that blessing for Him, um, and recognize that that blessing is directly coming from God. Um, Let me say it in this way. They will recognize the blessing from Him, but simply they don't appreciate it because they start to resent the blessing after some time go by, because the blessing that God sent their way didn't show up the way they wanted it. It didn't look the way they wanted it. It didn't, pan out in a way that they thought God should have done that. Oh, well, this is my blessing. They recognize it's from God because this is what they prayed for. But the person that God sent toward them to help them on this road so that they can heal and, help this person out of these circumstances didn't look like what they thought it should be. And so instead of showing gratitude and appreciating that blessing, this woman started to resent the blessing that God brought towards her, because it doesn't look the way I wanted it. I wanted it to be like A, B, C, and D, and etc. and so forth. Well, people, God will answer our prayers, but God is not on man timing. He doesn't do things the way we do it. He answered our prayers, but it may not be in a way that we think it should be. Show gratitude that He heard and answered your prayer. But this woman could not do that for long. In the beginning, she recognized it was a blessing from God. She was telling people, this is a blessing He brought my way, blah, blah. But in time, you could see she was resenting the blessing because it didn't show up in a way that she thought it should look or be. And God sent this person in her path to help her. Simply because she couldn't show gratitude and thanks to God for the blessing, simply because it didn't look or it wasn't in a way that she thought it should be, which is weird to me. With that being said, let me tell you more about this. Before the blessing came about, this woman was sitting outside her house under a tree for days. I don't know how long. And she prayed and begged God to send her a blessing to help her with an ongoing situation that she couldn't get herself out of. She needed help. And God sent someone. I have some notes here because I want to cover certain things, because this is going to help somebody who might be going through this. Asking God to send someone her way to heal her from the problems that she had, right? And she prayed, and the blessing didn't come right away. It came after some time of prayer. She finally got her answer, her prayer answered by God. And He sent her a woman her way to pray for her, to help her and encourage her, and to help her through the circumstance that she felt like she was going under with. Okay, but the woman didn't show up in a way that she thought it should be. Like I said, in the beginning, she acknowledged it was a blessing from God. She saw that it was. But shortly thereafter, she started this resentment. She had this resentment because of it. Like I said, the blessing didn't look the way she thought it looked. It didn't come about the way she wanted it. Yet it's a blessing to help her. So she started to play with the blessing. She started to play with and toy with it, piss and shit on a blessing that God sent her way that she prayed for quite some time, which is unbelievable. Telling horrific lies and gossiping. She started to show God through her actions that she did not appreciate the blessing that He sent her way. And this wasn't a one-time thing. She continued to, resent the blessing, lies, gossip, and do the most and the worst to this blessing that God sent her way. And this went on time after time after time. But guess what God did? Finally, God removed the blessing from her life altogether. While the blessing was there in her life started to get better. The things that was troubling her was disappearing because this person was not only praying for her, but helping her and showing her how to get through these circumstances. And that's what she needed to see and have in her life. And that's why God sent that person to help her so that this person can help her see where she can get out of these situations, one day at a time. Um, so this situation, like I said, went on for a while until God removed the blessing from her life, right? And she never expected the blessing to be removed completely from her life because she felt like, hey, I have a right to do whatever. When the blessing was removed from her life completely, because for a while it was in and out, the blessing was over here, come back to help her. And then that went on for so long that after a while, the blessing was permanently removed from her life. And she went into a rage because of it. Now, she prayed to God, and I'm still over here with this. You prayed to God. You're on your knees under a tree praying, crying, begging God, and he sends a blessing and you do this. And I'm still stuck there, guys. Now, this is a true story. This is not a made up story. I have notes because there's certain things I want to cover. And she went into a rage because the blessing is no longer there. She can't taunt it, play with it, whatever. You see, her life had, like I said, started to improve. And things start to get better. Now the blessing is gone. And when the blessing was removed, her life started to fall apart again, started to have those same problems again. Her life became tore up from the floor up, okay? It was even worse than before when she was praying, before this blessing came into her life, because God had sent this person into her life to help her. And she's showing him, you know, it's like a disrespect to God, not so much the person, but to God, because he's the one to put that person in your life to help, put that person in her life to help her. And she was so angry that she tried, once the blessing was gone, she tried to destroy the blessing that God sent to help her with her circumstances, with the vicious lies. And not only did she stop there, she told other people, strangers, and anybody who would listen about this person. But everything that she told about this person who was sent her way to help her were lies, because she was still resentful because she wanted it to show up the way that she acts in a prayer. Are you kidding me? And so this went on and on with these vicious lies and getting people enraged with things that never happened just because the blessing was removed from her life. Eventually, that woman relocated from the area away. And what she did not understand is that this woman that she was doing all this stuff to, lies and gossiping and saying the most and the worst, never did any of these things. Not only was this woman sent by God, but this woman was a woman of God that you're trying to destroy, who previously helped other people with similar situations that she had. And she did everything to try to break this woman's spirit, tear her down. But in reality, what she doesn't understand or did not understand is that God sent this blessing her way. So in reality, you're trying to do all these negative things to God because he's the one who sent the blessing. You would have never connected with this person if it wasn't for God. Sometimes people, God will answer our prayer and send us what we need. It may not look like in a shape or form that we think it should be, but he sent people our way to help us when he see we need help. What we do with that is on us. And it is difficult to understand why someone would choose to do this after praying and asking God for help. I can't understand that. What she could not do is tear this woman down who was sent to help her to build up her life. Because God, and she continued to do this. But every time she did this, the woman was going up and up and up and helping other people because divine intervention happened here because this person was sent to her by God. So it's like trying to tear him down. No, the woman is not God. That's not what I'm saying. But because she was sent by God to help this person, because this is the prayer, divine intervention happened. God is not going to allow you to tear down somebody that he sent your way to help you because you're resentful because it didn't come in a shape or form or circumstance that you asked, but the help came. He is not going to allow any of this to happen at all. And that's what this person didn't understand. It is to me like I would be personally afraid to do anything like that. The wrath of God. Are you kidding me? This person asked for something, God sent it. And this person is bitching and moaning about it. And then not only doing that, but trying to destroy the person. And this is not okay. And this is why at this point their life is torn apart, and everything in it is like a domino effect. You know how you line up dominoes and you push one down and it's like an effect, all of them fall down. This is what's happening, because you cannot destroy someone that God sent to help you, and it's just like, I'm going to give you guys an example of something of people who, all I'm going to say at this point, show gratitude. If God answer your prayer and send a blessing your way, show gratitude and thanks for that blessing instead of what I'm talking about here. And it reminds me of like the movie I watch as well, Samson. And in that movie, Samson was sent by God so that he can save the Israelites from the Philistines. If anyone hasn't watched that movie, do so. It's really good. And a guy who played Samson, very good looking guy, very muscular, etc. And women loved him, and he loved the women. He was, but they focus on the wrong thing. Oh, why did God choose him? Because you hear the conversations within the movie that they're talking. And Samson was very close with his brother, and they were talking with a group of Israelites. And oh, Samson is a womanizer. He's this and that. Why would God choose such a person? And blah blah and blah, gossiping, and showing no gratitude whatsoever, just complaining. And till his brother stepped in and said, God sent him this way to help you. Are you guys not grateful? And people sometimes, get caught up in other things. And the Samson was there to help them and he defeated the Philistines, so that the Israelites can be free of that. And then another example to me is in the Bible with Moses, when Moses helped, God used him as an instrument to deliver them from Egypt. They were enslaved for 400 years. God sent Moses. And when they saw the miracle of the Red Sea opening, they walked through, etc. Now they're in the wilderness. They're eating manna every day. And they're bitching and moaning about that. Oh, why we got to eat this stuff every day and blah, blah. In my mind, I'm thinking, God just saved my life. Yeah, I may not want to eat this manna every day, but I'm eating. I'm not starving. I got water. I got food. I'm going to show gratitude. I'm going to show thanks because God could have let you die, or stay in Egypt and still be enslaved. And people don't see it that way. They wasn't showing gratitude. So the moral of this story is when God send you a blessing, it's coming from his hand, show gratitude, show thanks, because he don't have to answer our prayers. He can just let you stay in those circumstances and situation and let you crawl your way out of it. And I just don't understand people who cannot show gratitude, and be thankful. I'm thankful for everything, people. And maybe I'm like that too because of everything I went through. And I went through these trials and tribulations by myself. And, you know, God was there, but I didn't have anyone as a support system, but I didn't give up on it. I continued to fight and crawl and bite through these things. And everything that God has brought my way, that's, of a blessing, I'm grateful for it. And I show gratitude and thanks all the time. So anyone who's getting blessings for God, always show gratitude. And one of the things I was so grateful is that I started making some vows to God. I made sure it's vows that I can keep, of course, and also this channel to help other people, especially guys, when I lost so many people back in 2020 when the shutdown took place, and I talk about it. I'm a 9/11 survivor. I've seen people, just people were jumping off buildings. You see these things on TV, but to be there and to see what's happening and be in the midst of it and to be able to come out of it, I'm always giving gratitude and thanks to God, because people were jumping off of buildings because the buildings were burning up. They didn't have no way out and they didn't want to burn up. So they just jumped to their death. And it was horrific. And I still remember it like it was yesterday. But the good thing about it is that everybody came together to help one another. They didn't care about race, status, or any of that, gender, none of that stuff. People came together to help one another during that time. Same, with the COVID and the shutdown and people dying, it makes you appreciate life and to look at your own life. And I had a long time to sit down and look at things. And I show a lot of gratitude. Even if someone gives me a gift I show gratitude and thankful, because nobody has to do anything for anybody but your own self, you know. So that's the moral of that story. And also I want to say, people, keep working on yourself. Nothing is going to happen overnight, but nothing venture is nothing gained. Do things for yourself on a daily basis. For me, it's music, a lot of it. Even so, to the point I'll pop in a CD, that has a whole bunch of music I like on it, and it puts me in a better frame of mind. And after listening to it, I'm ready to go. It's like an adrenaline or something for me, because it's a healing force for me. If you guys play any instrument, do so. Make time for yourself. And that time that you have, that you taken for yourself for self-care, do things that uplift you, that make you feel good. That bubble bath, that nice dress, that perfume, bottle of perfume you like, whatever it is, volunteering at your favorite charity, going out, taking yourself to that dinner, or whatever it is, or whatever it may be, that's uplifting. And as you do more of this and make time for self-care, it heals you. I promise you guys, little by little, it heals you, and you begin to appreciate the little things in life, and that's where I am with things, because tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, and I reach now, as I continue to do the healing, I going towards new doors, new opportunities, new beginnings, leaving the toxicity and the people behind and shutting those doors and moving to new beginnings. Because guess what, guys? Behind those new doors are new things, positive things. When you manifest, and you pray and ask God to help you and you work according to those prayers, God is going to answer that. And I continue to do the work. And, when those new doors open, I'm going to be the best of myself that I can be. And when it comes to relationships and things like that, the old version of myself would, oh, that person's interested. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see how this go. Without getting to know that person, just jumping in. I don't do those things anymore. Let's do something fun. Let's go bowling. Let's do something, a carnival. Let's do, to get to know that person. But if I get a vibe now that it doesn't, this don't feel right, I'm not going to just keep ignoring that and keep it, going through a situation. And it doesn't matter who like what or whatever. I've learned to do things for my highest good. If it's not for my highest good, then I'm going to leave it where it is. But, there are people out there that we can connect to, friendships, relationships, people who are on the same page with us. And people slowly start to connect with people like that. And then this is how you move away from the toxicity. And then it's like slowly moving away. And then eventually, boom, you're gone. You're over here in the new beginnings. Those doors are closed now. You learn the lesson, so you don't have to repeat it. Because repeating lessons they're horrible, because the situation that come back around is going to be worse than ever. So I try to learn as quickly as I can, but we all have something. But let's keep going. Let's keep doing it. Like I said, find something on a daily basis. Even if you can take an hour or so a day for self-care, do it. Start off with something small and then, continue. It's going to make you feel better. Like when you take care of yourself, by doing things in this way, it helps you with your mental and physical health, because taking in a lot of toxicity and dealing with a lot of toxic situations will bring stress and health related issues. And for me, I'm over that. I'm not doing that anymore. And set boundaries. And like for me, if the boundaries are disrespected, I just cut off, block, and delete, because I have no more anything to give to that. You know, love yourself, self care, and do things for your highest good. And you will live a better life and you will see the results. I promise you that. I'm living proof of it. One day at a time, one step at a time. Let us all work to be in a place of peace, inner peace, outer peace, instead of being broken down into pieces. Share this message with others. That's the message today, guys. Gratitude, appreciation, saying thank you, and always asking God in prayer for things. And when He brings it our way, showing gratitude and thanks, because He doesn't have to. That's the message again today, guys. Share it with others. Come to the channel. I never know when I'm going to be here. Like, I can't give a specific time. So what I would suggest is that you subscribe to the channel, tell others about it, because some of these messages will resonate with a few of you. And then the next day, I may talk about something different that might resonate with you. In any event, it's going to resonate with others. And these are the things I do for self-care that uplift my life and keep me in a place of peace. Well, that's it today, guys. This is Lisa, always encouraging you, shedding love and light, and always let your light shine. Don't worry about the haters, continue to keep it moving. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good Thursday. Bye for now.